Hey there, Squirrel Army, how's it going? Today we've got to discuss the new commanders, the sub-commanders from the Lost Caves of Ixalan commander decks, and this one is Wayta, Trainer Prodigy.
You can join the Squirrel Army by subscribing.
Alright, so I'm doing these again because I don't want to have to talk about them for too much in the pre-con videos, so bear with me because these usually take a few minutes, and I know most people don't really watch that long, but whatever. If you're interested, you're interested. If you're not, you're not at the end of the day, I think. But it is what it is. So, 3 mana haste, 1/5. I like the stats, honestly, because I'm one of these people. For some reason, I really like basically commanders that are enchantments or whatever. Commanders that have abilities and you don't really care what their power is, basically, because I'm never really looking to kill people with my commander or whatever. It's not really a big thing that I tend to look for. But that's just me. Like, it's one of those things when you come up against some of those decks that are doing life gain shenanigans and things like this, you're just kind of going, well, I do wish my commander could actually kill you. But no, and obviously, again, I don't run combos very much, so that does become a problem, but it is one of those things about being an aggro deck sometimes, and you do have a lot of problems sometimes, but still, it's super fun anyway. But anyway, 3 mana, 2 and a green, and you can make a creature fight another creature. It costs 2 less if you fight your own creatures, which, like, I don't see, like, that you're gonna do that very much, but maybe you will, because the second ability, which is the much better of the two abilities, if a creature you control being dealt damage causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, it triggers an additional time. So it's Panamonicon for abilities. So that's damage abilities. So that's really, really good for like all the enraged stuff. She isn't a dinosaur, but she works with dinosaurs, which are most of the enraged stuff. And she can get your creatures to fight each other, which, again, maybe you'll do, but I don't know. That seems like a bad move to me because there's too many dinosaurs that... actually, wait a minute. No, oh, no, another target creature. Okay, all right. So you can't target itself. All right. But anyway, still, just the fact that a lot of dinosaurs have this unequal footing a lot of the time, so you wouldn't want to, you've got too many big dinos that, and, like, you've got a few small dinos, but again, like, you don't want to have your big dino fight your small dino, and it is whenever, effectively, so it's not just during your turn. So I think you would want, like, you'd most want to do this at instant speed, because again, like if you do this on your turn, like especially before combat, like that's really bad because then you can't attack with your dinosaur really, or whatever. Maybe you can't because it doesn't have haste or whatever, but still, like if it doesn't have summoning sickness, then you can't really attack with it because it's already taken whatever damage, and then you're going to be like, oh man, now I can't really attack. And like if you attack with your dinosaurs, like you don't know how much damage they're going to take, so you never know kind of like, you might have that opportune time to be like, oh yeah, I can make my thing fight my own thing and get an extra trigger or whatever. But I think like don't worry about fighting your own things too much. I would think about just like using this as a, I'm going to fight my opponent's creatures as removal, more or less, or whatever. So that could be, that can be really good. You have to have that 3 mana for it, which is a pretty big thing because basically this thing, even if you say, oh, it has haste, yeah, sure, it has haste, and it is 3 mana effectively, but realistically it's 6 mana because if you're gonna do its ability, you have to have another 3 mana. So it's 6 mana before you get, a triggered effect off of it. And yes, like, again, when you're doubling it, that can be pretty good because, again, like, if you're fighting your opponent's things, that can be really good. Yeah, if you're fighting your own stuff, it is only 4 mana, but still, like, I don't know, like, there's lots of hoops here that I can see, like, you could have something going along with it. I know a lot of people who play, like, Dinosaur Tribal or whatever want a fully Dinosaur deck, or 99% Dinosaur deck, and that sort of thing, so I don't know, like, maybe some people want to do the Enrage stuff, but, like, that's just Dinosaur Tribal effectively anyway, for the most part. Maybe there are a few humans here and there that help with that, and there are a few enchantments and artifacts, obviously, that do help kind of with it too. But still, I'm not really sure that this is going to be a commander that many people are going to want to do stuff with. Like, it's a cool card probably in the 99, but I don't know that you're actually, like, that built around it. Like, if you're already doing the Enrage stuff, then, or just Enrage sort of stuff, then maybe, sure. Actually, I'm not sure that there's might be a few other creatures that have effectively Enrage. Like, when it's dealt damage, it does a thing in these colors. So maybe I'm wrong. Like, I'm not 100% sure that, you know, like, that's the be-all and end-all. Like, I know there's a few that when it deals combat damage to a player, they do a thing or whatever, and that sort of thing. But still, I do think that there are a couple of other quote-unquote enraged things, but they don't have the keyword enrage or whatever. So maybe you're just, like, gonna do this whole, like, if my stuff takes damage, I don't really care. Like, that. What was the pit fighting commander that came out a while back? I can't remember it, but it was just that fight deck, and it's very similar to this, except, like, this is actually encouraging you to have, like, it was in Gruul colors, I know that. I don't know, but still, like, that does seem like that could actually be a thing, maybe, because you want to have your stuff deal damage to your opponent's stuff, so if you're already kind of doing that kind of thing, you might want to do it more, and, like, something like Thousand Year Elixir and cards like that, just to untap your commander or untap your creatures, or even give creatures that don't have haste, for their abilities at least. That does seem pretty good as well. So there are things that I can see, like, again, that might work with it, and there might be cards that I'm not really thinking of, that are out there that actually have that effectively enrage effect. But I do think it's mostly dinosaurs, because, like, that's just the first thing, I guess, that comes to mind. So, like, the idea here, or my idea here, would be, or my thought here for a deck with this is, like, besides the Polyraptor combo thing, how do you win? Like, well, that actually doesn't even make you win, realistically, unless you got Impact Tremors or something like that, but still, or Profrost or whatever, things like that, but still, like, unless you're doing that, like, and making infinite tokens somehow, or, again, Enrage, doubling again, oh, that actually almost works like a doubling season or parallel lives in a way too. That's actually pretty interesting, because, like, with when you make a token from Enrage, you get double the tokens. So that's and you get, yeah, oh wow, that's pretty good. So it actually works like a parallel lives with that, and it works very weirdly in certain circumstances. So that's interesting. I just thought of that, but still, like, again, like, how can you win, like, beyond just, like, here's my Polyraptor combo and, you know, this, you know, so everyone's dead or whatever, you know. Yeah, that becomes, like, you've got big dinos, like, obviously, like, again, so you just turn them sideways and punch, so that can be a thing, so, but it can do stuff, so, I don't know. It still leaves me up in the air, I guess, like, to how much people want to do this. So let me know if you do want to see a deck tech around this one as well. I'll definitely put up a poll in the community section anyway, but you guys can always let me know what you think, what commanders you want to see me build from the set. from the regular set and from the Commander set. Write your thoughts about this card down there in the comments as well if you wish to, and hope you will join me again in another one.